Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with my collection manager, Carlos. Carlos has been a part of my organization for many, many years. Most of the years that I've been in business and debt collections since 2014. 2014, you joined my organization, Carlos?
Yeah, it was toward the end of 2014. But before that, I'd already known and worked side by side and under you for quite some time before that.
Yeah, so we were actually at an office together back since 2010, 11-ish. That was a monster office where we thought at that time was a lot of money. Do you remember what that office was doing
Yeah, we
in
were
Ontario?
averaging I believe, 500,000 a month, 600,000 was our biggest numbers that we hit at that office.
Yeah. So when did you get into debt collections? When did you join that office? I know we opened it, I want to say 2010, 2011. Do you remember when you joined us?
It was right after I turned 21, or right before I turned 21. It was February of 2012, I believe.
Okay, 2012.
Yeah, I joined that office because actually my cousin Mario had started working there because one of his buddies was a dialer there, an employee, and his older cousin was a closer there, DJC. And he recruited my cousin. My cousin's like, "Hey, bro, there's some guys making crazy money here. It's debt collection. I had never heard of it, didn't know it existed." And I was actually getting ready to go to college or to go to the UCR, but I needed money for tuition, and I needed a job to try to make that money. So I said, "Hey, sign me up. Let me know when I can talk to the manager, the owner, whoever, and I'll go talk to him and see if I can make it happen."
So that had to have been 2011 because I launched my first company in 2012. And when you came on, what was your hiring process there? Do you remember?
The hiring process, it was pretty straightforward. I sat down with the manager at that time, Quinn, and he just told me, gave me a breakdown of how the business worked, what they did, and pretty much just asked me if I was interested. I said, yeah. He said, all right, I'm going to sit you next down to some people, kind of observe, listen to what they say, look at what they're doing, and it's basically the end of it.
There
And
was
then I jumped on the phone. There was really no
it
training.
was all cowboys.
Yeah,
It
it was
was no
all
training, no
nothing.
nothing. This was commission only, like straight hardcore debt collections with no training, just recruiting, commission only. Actually, they had a small salary over there, didn't they? A small bonus or a
It was
small salary structure. It was like 1,500.
Well, it was a small salary, but it was determined based on your first month's performance, because it was assuming that you would hit a certain number of revenue, because it was only commission. So it was, I believe, 6,000 collected. You got two draw checks of 1,000 apiece, assuming you would hit
Okay.
at least 6,000. But that usually happened after your first 45 days or 30 days, because they wanted to make sure you were generating something before they
Yeah.
paid you.
Yeah, I never really got into the whole salary structure when we were at that organization because I started over there in 2010 and I started strictly commission. I left a job that was hourly pay. I left a law firm and then I went back to RRS where I was making like $17 an hour. So I left a $17 an hour job to go work there, commission only. So I had no base pay at all. So I didn't even know how your structures were when people were joining the company. I had no idea how your structure was. But I heard that there was some sort of draw and that you guys would only get it if you hit a certain number, whatever. So we fast forward and we go back to 2012 or 14, I'm sorry, when you joined my company. How was that experience when you joined? And we didn't have you on a base salary, right? You were all commission.
Yeah, no, there was no base salary after that. When I joined, it was just strictly commission. I already knew the game, so it was just I was leaving another office that was going under at the time, and I could see it coming. Just business wasn't being ran correctly, and I knew that you were running your own company, so I already knew you from before. I think he's doing it. Obviously, he's being successful at that, so I know that's where I have to go to make money. As soon as I jumped on, it was strictly commission. That's all it was.
Yeah, even nowadays, you don't see a lot of collection agencies that are still surviving. It was one of those things where only the strong survive. And at the time, a lot of companies were going under between 2013, 2012, 2013, and 2018, 19. In 2019, I think you started seeing a lot less agencies out there. And even till today, it's like it's a rare. They're still out there, but it's a rare commodity, and they're not as big, they're not as organized, they're not as strong. So how were your years from 2014 when you joined the company to, like, let's say 2017? What were your duties as a collector? Were you already a manager? How much money were you making at that time? Do you remember?
At that time, I was just strictly collecting. As far as money, it's always been pretty consistent. This business, nothing is exactly consistent. There's always ups and downs, but at that time, I was only collecting, I want to say 70, 80,000 a year, up to 90 and good. There was one good year I think I did up to 90, and it was just strictly commission based. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I wasn't in a management role yet. That happened later on when Aaron was here, and then after Gavis had his time off.
So 90,000 a year. I mean, you're a numbers guy. What does that come out to a month? Were you at about $8,000 a month?
Yeah, it was an average of about 7,000 a month. Some months a little bit better, and then averaged out to that total up to that.
Okay. I know for a fact, because I sang your checks, that you're making way more fucking money than that right now.
Yeah.
Like stupid money.
Yeah.
So up until 2017 and 18, when did it change, and what changed that you went from making 90,000 a year to what you're making now? And we'll get into that right now. They gotta watch the whole video through so that they could see what you're making right now. We'll discuss that at the end. But what changed from then to now?
From then to now, basically how much work I put in. I was always here working, grinding when I was here. My hours weren't crazy long because of my personal life and my schedule there. But when I was here, I just was very effective. So I was able to make that much, which is now looking back, it was nothing. It was nothing, but just because I was very effective while I was here. I was working less hours, so to speak, than other people that were here, but I was very much more effective. What changed is my role in the company became a manager, and I was just forced to be here, obviously, all day, longer hours, but essentially it benefited me because I just was able to generate a lot more income because I was just putting in more time.
Okay. Do you remember what year you became a manager? Was that 2018?
At the end of 2018.
At the end of 2018. So, percentage-wise, how much more did you start making when you became a manager? And what do you think was the main reason for that? Aside from just working more hours, so did your income double, triple, and how fast did that change happen?
I think in the first 2 years, it went up by 50%, little 50 to 70%. And then the year after that, the third year, it over doubled.
Okay.
And as far as what contributed to that, I was just much more involved in the business, obviously. I always knew, because I'm good with numbers, and I knew the business, even though I wasn't that involved in it. I knew liquidations, I knew numbers, I knew what it took to make the money, and I just implemented it a lot more. And also because now, as being part of the business and the company and management, they fell more on me. I carried that weight of the business where I was like, no, I need to make sure that we all do well.
The responsibility kicked in.
The responsibility. And as far as before, where I just managed myself and how I conducted my business, I took it as I run my own small business within the organization. When I became manager, it's like, no, now I'm in charge of helping contribute to the whole business. So by trying to implement things that I did for myself into other people, into the business, it helped it grow.
So becoming a manager helped you to not be complacent.
Oh, definitely.
And more ambitious.
Oh, definitely.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, okay. Now, what are your roles as a manager right now? What does your day-to-day role entail as of right now? What are you responsible for in the company?
Right now, my primary focus is looking at inventory liquidation, where we're at with certain clients, certain files, managing my desk as well, making sure that our development of new employees, new collectors is on point, making sure that they get up to speed. And also assisting all the other closers that are here, that all the other collectors, when they need help with something. I've developed my style of closing, and I guess you could say the tools in the bag have gotten a lot better. So now I help them and try to help closers, even with seasoned collectors, help them with whenever they need help with the deal, with closing deals, things like that.
So I want the viewers to really understand the caliber of person that you are. This man is responsible for generating over $500,000 in revenue in 4 months for the company. To his number, because it's split, maybe not all of it, but most of it is split into his number, which is, over $250,000 to his number, and $250,000 to another collector's number that he collected for. So they split their commission. So I can safely say with confidence and with pride that he is my top performer throughout my whole collection organization. This guy is the Kobe Bryant, the Michael Jordan, call it whatever superstar you want to call it. He is the man in the company. Not only do I have massive respect for him as a collector, but I have massive respect for him because he can carry the burden of also being a manager and contributing to the organization and the structure of the company. I'm extremely proud of him, and I'm extremely blessed to have him as part of my organization. So let me just say that. And I think we've done so well for so many years, and I think we've only scratched the surface and we're just getting started. So we're consistently doing, as a whole organization, we're consistently doing 1.5 million a month. I think it's safe to say that everyone is focused on the same goal of $2 million a month. And I know that that's going to happen very, very quickly, because each and every day we're making adjustments to build better structure, better systems, a better process to help us get there faster and to make sure that the company's net revenue is healthy. So we're going to end with this. What are you averaging a month right now, take home?
Right now I'm averaging no less than 20,000 a month.
No less than 20,000 a month. He's being very, very conservative.
Yeah, we have good months and not so great months, but nothing less. Yeah, it's about 22, 23,000 a month, sometimes better, just depending on
average?
On average.
What's been your biggest month? How much did you take home your biggest month?
That actually, I don't even have an exact answer, because it comes in different, because of the structure of the way that I'm paid. But I would have to say my biggest number as far as collection-wise was about 84,000, just base.
In 1 month to your number?
In 1 month to my number. And that was in the middle of COVID. So I'd have to say it was probably about 25,000.
25,000 in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that, because he is one of the biggest assets to the company. And, hopefully I don't have to beep this out, but he's literally the biggest swinging dick around here. So it's the truth. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate your time. Thanks for all your hard work, bro. I really do appreciate it. And let's keep crushing it. Let's make a lot of fucking money.
That's the goal.
Let's get it.
Trying to get rich one day at a time.
That's right. Let's get it.